This is a public service announcement. This is a public service announcement. What you're about to listen to may make you yell, shout, smile, and even laugh out loud. Youth baseball players, coaches, and fans join the Slide Podcast crew on their journey to make baseball fun again. Hear stories from players of all ages, plus tips and tricks from coaches and scouts. Now, if you're ready, give us a loud play ball.
Play ball.
There we go.
There we go.
That's it right there.
Come on.
We're ready to go. We got to get the juices
Let's do it.
flowing here, Lila.
Yeah.
We're back to the Slide Podcast. It's been hasn't been that long, I think. I don't know. All of my days are running together right now, Lila. Anyway, welcome back to the Slide Podcast. I'm your host, Coach Aaron, and Brickwall Bratch is joining us tonight as my co-host. And we got an amazing guest joining us. And before we get to our guest, Lila, we are counting down the hours now for Cleveland and our first banana ball tournament. You're leading an all-girls team to come play in this tournament in 13U.
Yep.
As the captain of this team, are your girls ready?
Yep.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Have you guys been coordinating some cool stuff for us to see?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? All right. I am so excited. I can't wait. So, and you know what? You and I get to meet in person for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
So we've known each other for a few years now. And we finally get to, see each other in real life. So that's going to be pretty cool. So, but what's been going on with you? What's life like out there in California?
Nothing much. Been actually pretty nice today. Only like 92 for the high. Feels good.
Yeah. Well, see, your 92 don't have humidity. We're dealing with humidity over here, and that's like an oven. You don't even want to know. You don't want to know. So, all right. Well, you know what? I've been working my tail off as well, trying to make sure everything is ready to go for this tournament. And I got to say, Lila, I think we're going to change youth baseball. Like, I really feel like we're going to add something that kids have never been able to experience before. And that's, you know what? And the cool part about this, Lila, is you can come, you can make mistakes, you can try trick plays and fail at it, and nobody's going to get mad at you.
Yeah.
Like you guys are the entertainers next week. So some high expectations, Lila. No pressure. She's got ice water in her veins. She don't even care. So all right. Well, you know what? Speaking of banana ball and speaking of anything related to the bananas, our guest today comes to us from Savannah, Georgia, at Grayson Stadium. Mr. Michael Deeb, sir. How are you?
Doing wonderful. Thank you guys for having me on.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful day out here in Georgia. As you mentioned, we got a nice, hot, humid day, but sun's shining. The boys got our last practice in and prepping to get on the plane tomorrow morning to head out to Louisville. And then Sunday, I believe Sunday evening or Monday, we're going to be on our way. Getting ready to come up and see y'all in Cleveland and get after this thing and see what these kiddos are going to bring to the diamond.
I know. I think, Deeb, I think we might learn some stuff from these kids. So
I surely think so. I'm going to be hunting ideas because my ideas in our OTT sessions have been a little weak lately. So I'm going to lean on the inspiration of what I see while I'm out there coaching and recruiting some new ideas.
That's right. I mean, I've got teams that have asked permission to bring props and all kind of stuff. So it's going to be fun. So, but anyway, man, so, welcome to the show.
Thanks.
And, man, you've got a pretty awesome story, and, I'd love to, holy cow. Did you guys hear that?
Is that some thunder?
That's not me. That's you.
Oh, man.
That's me. Oh yeah.
Wow.
It's out there. So
it's not playing games.
Yeah, we're gonna roll with it for now until my power goes out, maybe. So if y'all lose me all of a sudden, my power's gone. So anyway, but Michael, man, I'd love to kind of figure out how you ended up in Banana Land, and if you could, tell us a little bit about what it was like growing up playing baseball as Michael Deeb?
Yeah, so the first time I played baseball was probably 4 or 5 years old, T-ball. Getting into it as a young student athlete, played a lot of different sports growing up in South Florida. Blessed to have a highly talented environment, which made it extremely competitive and which
Yep.
challenged my skills and allowed me to grow quickly in the game. And even though I was a big kid, maybe a little later in the puberty department. So just developing a little later than some of those kids and having to face those challenges early was phenomenal for me because baseball is a game of failure and you got to learn to adapt and overcome. And, there's common saying that even if you fail 7 out of 10 times, you're going to be in the Hall of Fame. So
That's right.
that being said, there's a lot of room to grow. And so I definitely played from the time I was 5 on and definitely spent a lot of time playing pretty much every sport. I don't think there was a season that I would miss trying a new sport and getting after it. I eventually, 10, 11 years old, started playing on some travel teams and taking baseball a little bit more seriously in comparison to my other extracurricular activities. But it wasn't until probably seventh, eighth grade that I was really playing baseball majority of the year round. And because I was in so many different seasons with so many different sports, which
Right.
I'm super, super, super. Uh, I'm the biggest fan of playing multiple sports at the youth age,
Good.
and now that what you guys are doing with bringing banana ball to youth sports, it's something that I would love to see, and I would like to see, especially in the travel ball culture that we are experiencing with teams playing 130 games a year at 9 years old, and all these um, stress and anxiety ridden kids chasing a plastic trophy with 3 games on a Sunday and not really enjoying uh, the presence of being out there with their boys or their girls and chasing victory and getting after it on the ball diamond. So
Yeah.
once I grew up, played through high school, and sixth grade was kind of when I really started putting in hundreds of push-ups a day, sit-ups, pull-ups, trying to get strong, trying to do anything I possibly could to enhance my athleticism and enhance my skills on the field. And a lot of that was just wall ball and making up silly games with my friends.
Yep.
And ADHD of a little boy that just wants to be outside, run and play all day. We just kind of got creative. We'd play pickle in some of my friends' living rooms in the summer when it would rain in the afternoons and they had tile floor. We'd wear long baseball socks, get 2 pillows, and we would just play pickle with a tennis
Oh,
ball. And it just learning to love to compete, have fun, and really be creative with how we were doing everything out there on the field. And then little did I know, the years later, I would go into minor league ball and fall short a little bit with some surgeries and not performing the way I wanted to continue rising in the game. And there was an opportunity when I was still playing independent ball after being released from the White Sox for the first 4 games of the Banana Ball tour that Fans First was putting on. It was electric. It was awesome. I ended up playing a normal independent professional season following that because it was such a short time period.
mhm.
But getting a taste of what banana ball was for the first time, what it could be, um, and then ultimately there being no trick plays at the time. That being something that was mentioned for the growth. The following season, we see that in Ryan Cox really taking that by the horns and exploding in that department. And all of us have just kind of felt like we are back to being that little kid again, where, in professional baseball, if you're in the outfield just shagging fly balls, it's really monotonous. It's routine. You've done it 100 million times. Here
Yep.
we're out there roasting each other, making jokes, trying new tricks, and you're feeling like you're in 12U again, where you're playing diving catches and you're trying to have your coach hit you fungos in the gaps and you're trying to send it. Well, that's what
Yep.
learning a new trick play is, and trying to figure out the um, skill and or techniques to get it done. It's in that practice time, and when the coaches are filling the machines with shooting fly balls up into the sky, and we're trying to figure out how we're going to go behind the back or do some of these guys doing backflips, all kinds of gymnastics that DR and rack are pulling out now. It's incredible to see the evolution and the growth, but it's really derived from that kid mindset of like, let's go have fun and see how great we can be at creating something new today. And so throughout that process, that's kind of put me here, in a South Florida kid that's been up to Notre Dame for undergrad, and then Bethune-Cookman and Daytona Beach for my master's. Been in Puerto Rico for a little while, White Sox organization for a little while, playing some independent ball after that, and then found a home here in Banana Land. And it has been something that is so hard to explain because it's never been done before, and we're constantly creating. And that's exciting to be a part of, because you never know what the day is going to hold. You might see something different in practice that no one showed before, and then now the anticipation leading into the game, like, man, I really want to see my teammate nail this in a game this weekend. And it's a different type of competitiveness within the new things that we're trying to do. And then obviously and ultimately, we'd love to win games as well.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I noticed, Lila, there, he said South Florida.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's in South Florida, Lila?
Gators.
No. The Miami Dolphins. Come on.
This guy, he talks about the Miami Dolphins all the time.
Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, that's
Miami
right.
Dolphins. I love some Dolphins, man.
There we go.
I will say my fanship has spread across the NFL with guys that I've been blessed to play with in college and or play against, and see them and their different teams and what they're doing, which is really cool. Staying loyal to a lot of the guys that went to Notre Dame before and after me that are still playing in the league and cheering them on. But I love when the Dolphins are doing well, and lately they've been really exciting.
That's right.
During my teen years, we were struggling.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, I've lived some rough years with them Dolphins. So anyway, we talk about anytime I get a chance to mention the Dolphins on the show, I have to, and it drives all of our co-hosts crazy. So it's all right. All right, Lila, listen, I brought up Miami. What do you got for Michael?
All right. So I'm headed to Banana Ball soon. I'm getting really excited. Do you have any special tips for me for when I get there?
Yes, when you get there, I would say just be extremely friendly and open-minded to meeting all these young ball players that you're going to run into, because you never know. The baseball community is smaller, and softball community and banana ball community, obviously they're the smallest at this point, but the community is small and the world is really big. So life's a team sport. Build those relationships with these other players that you're going to meet, and who knows, you may team up one day within college. You may play on a future banana ball team with. You might, you never know, and what you can learn from them. So I'd say the biggest thing is, if you're getting the opportunity to surround yourself with hundreds and 1,000 other young athletes like you, try to ask as many questions as you possibly can and learn from one another, because I can't tell you how many experiences I've had where it was, for me, the biggest tournament I had played was when I was 12 years old, and we played at Cooperstown. And I can't tell you how many of those kids that I played with and against at Cooperstown, that I got to trade pins with, that I got to talk with, that I got to hang around with, that I ended up playing against them in high school showcase tournaments, that ended up one of them being my college teammate, a couple of them playing in the same conference. Multiple of them ended up playing in the minor league affiliate organizations, so we ran into each other there. It's a really small community in comparison to the world, and that's kind of what I think is the best thing for you to do, is when you start leaning on getting to know others and just building those friendships and learning, you don't over analyze your own self, your own goals, your own aspirations, which is incredibly hard to do, because we all go out there and we want to win, we want to perform well, we want to do better than everybody else, and all these things, and the pressure that we put on ourselves. The more you can invest your time into learning from others and building those relationships, you kind of forget all that other stuff. And regardless whether you perform well or not, all you can control is your preparation. that being said, you'll take a lot more pride in that and not necessarily be so caught up on, hey, I went to this tournament and I had 12 at bats and I did this for them. That's kind of language that I think is unnecessary, and I hope none of you have, and I hope you come out and say, I made 30 new friends, and I learned this from this person, and this person does this trick play this way, and I'm going to go work on that. And hey, have you ever guys played after stretch? We like to play two ball. Like, have you guys tried this game? Oh, that's fun. You never know. People are going to come from all over to play in this tournament. So just kind of sit back, and as much as you're going to play your butt off and be the best you could possibly be, sit back and be a fan of some of the others too, to see what you can learn from them and those relationships that you can create, and maybe meet some of your best friends for the rest of your life at this tournament.
That's right. That's very true. Big E.
Yo.
What's
yo,
up?
Yo.
What's up?
So Big
What up,
E
man?
is a field reporter as well. He's out of Illinois.
Heck
And
yeah.
he's also coming to play banana ball with us next week. Big E, welcome to the show, and Mr. Michael Deeb. So,
Hello, Big E. Michael
Nice
Deeb
to meet
here.
you, Michael.
Likewise, my man. Where are you from in Illinois?
Pekin.
How far is that from the Chicago? Okay, very cool. Very cool.
he's got it down to a science, it sounds like, 240.
Oh, he knows exactly where he's at. He's tapped
right.
in, locked in, as Coach Reggie would say. That's awesome,
right.
man. I played a season during COVID. We had a 4-team league that was run through the Frontier League out of Joliet, Illinois, which is about 45 minutes away from
Yep. Isn't
Chicago.
that close? Is it like closer to Jacksonville?
Jacksonville,
Illinois?
To be honest, you know more of Illinois than I do, my friend. I went to school up the road about an hour and a half away in South Bend, Indiana, but my Midwest skills are limited for being a South Florida boy who's been spending a lot of time in Georgia lately.
That's right. I'm the same way. You know, I should have paid more attention in school, but you know, I can't go back and do that again. So man, don't say that. Look, I did good in school. I'm more concerned with your grades. That's what I'm concerned with.
Mm-hmm.
I've been high on over 4 years.
Well, that's good stuff.
Hey, that's something I didn't do growing up. So congratulations, Biggie. That a boy.
Michael, so what position do you play, man, for our listeners out there?
Play outfield and first base. This year I've been spending a lot more time designated hitting, but when I'm in practice and preparing defensively, I'm in the corner outfield, or I'm over at first base. Being left-handed, I'll play anywhere a left-handed player can play.
Okay. Now, when you were growing up, did you play multiple positions growing up, or were you like some of these kids and think they only can play shortstop or first base?
I was a left-handed baseball player that played anywhere a coach would put a left-hander. So even in, I think, 11U, I spent some time at third base just because of my ability to get the ball across the diamond. And even though it wasn't the most competitively sound thing to do to put a lefty there, there was times that I spent time at third. But ultimately, if you're right-handed, you're a guy or girl that crushes the ball, and you play defense. You don't play a position, you play defense, because as you grow, as you age, you're going to be experienced with teams that are not just your age group. And obviously, if you're the awesomest, best, coolest, drippiest shortstop that is 14, you're going to go into high school and try to take the job from maybe the all-county 18-year-old that's going back for his senior year. And if you hit well and can play defense anywhere, you might be that freshman that can go play some left field one day, play some third the next, and play first the next. And all of a sudden you got eight at-bats that week, rather than saying you were the shortstop and the coach telling you to wait your turn and see you in a couple of years.
That's right. Well, I mean, I think it's like super important. Biggie, you know how to track a ball in the outfield?
Yeah.
Yeah? You pretty good at it?
Yeah. I was a center field for my first 2 years.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Well, you know what? There's a lot of kids out there, and I've heard this over the past few seasons from different parents and coaches as well, is sometimes when you have these tryouts, you know what? You may be put in a position that you've never played. and the coach is expecting performance. He's not going to hear the excuse, I've never played there. So, and tracking a ball, that's a skill. Lila, I know you're behind the plate mostly catching. You track a ball in the outfield pretty good. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Well,
work in progress.
I'm not now.
Correct. No way.
Wow. This must be a hot interview right now. It's hot. So
that's hilarious.
All right, Big E.
Yo.
I'm gonna let you ask Mr. Deeb a question. What you got for him?
Okay, so I was wondering this. So I was watching the Savannah Bananas video that you sent me, Coach Aaron. So then I watched it, and I got a little bit confused on the question where when the catcher touches the ball on a walk, they have to throw it to every position before the ball is in play, right?
That's right.
So the runner can get as much bases as they can, right? That's it. But on a hit, you can just go straight to the base, right?
Of course.
What was the last part?
On like a hit, can you go straight to the base that you need to go to? Okay.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. So the only time that you're going to have your entire defense try to crash towards second base and throw the ball around is going to be on a ball four sprint, i.e. walk. Every other play, you may try a trick, but in the traditional baseball way that you would make the out, if it's a ground ball to third base, you're throwing that, and then nobody's on, you're throwing that thing right across the diamond to first base and getting that out at first base.
Yep.
Yeah.
With a behind the back, shuffle or
backflip, shuffle, front flip, turn,
moonwalk, throw.
Yeah.
I've been working on my catching and behind the back throw to second base this weekend.
Oh heck yeah!
I threw like 7 kids out this weekend.
Oh yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
No, they were. Dang.
Oh.
They were triple A and double A.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Did the coach make them walk? Like, were they just trying to mess with you? No. Okay. Okay. That was good, Lila. Listen, I'm gonna tell you, E. Like, she's been ruthless here lately. Like she's called me and Coach Jen and everybody out lately. So you gotta be ready for Lila.
Dang.
Be ready.
Hey, but Lila, what's your fastest call time? Slow.
Oh, here we go.
Mine's 199.
Well, you played on it at one point.
In the kitchen? Where are you throwing that ball across? You throwing the ball across your kitchen, or where are you getting a 199 at? What
For
year
home
are you?
from second base. I got tracked in the GMB All-Star tournament.
So what size bases are that?
I'm pretty sure like 110 for second base. I'm pretty sure.
From home?
Yes.
You mean from home? Okay.
Right.
Yeah, home from second.
I said, wait a second.
I know. That was a little different there.
You went beyond Aaron Judge and all the MLB and said, we're going to throw another 20 feet on it. No, that's funny. That's awesome, man. Well, you never know. You keep times like that, you get on the big field one day, you'll be playing a long time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Both of you.
Mm-hmm.
Lila's going to change the game, too. So, I mean,
what's your favorite position to play, Lila? Catcher. That's just different. That is different.
that's the way
awesome.
to put it.
It's funny. I was telling my girlfriend that I was going to get on this call, and we were chatting a little bit. She's in Italy right now. She plays professional tennis, but she was a pitcher in baseball until she was 14, and she played tackle football growing up with the boys. So
that's what's
just
up.
know that she's a big fan of yours, even though she hasn't met you, because I was telling her about you, and she thought that was awesome. And you're extremely funny, because just like her in her fashion, you're not afraid to hand out some roasts, which she loves to come roasting me, especially with all the silly dancing and stuff we do here in Banana Land. She loves roasting me.
Well,
awesome.
So that's a good question. So for you, coming from playing football Notre Dame and coming through the pro ranks a little bit there, like what was it like, your first few days there when you're told to dance? Did that come natural to you, or how much of a challenge was that?
I would say I have confidence in expressing myself. Am I a good dancer? Not so much. So it was something that was developed through good coaching. We've got a great entertainment team, and Maceo, our first base dance coach, is an absolute just superhero in what he does. So they're great communicators. They teach us well. And even though I'm probably never going to be the best out there, I just try to apply it to, film study when you're in the film room in college football and you're preparing for a certain blitz package that you're going to install, and you're going to look how it looks and try to memorize what you see on film so you can apply it onto the field. It's similar to accepting that coaching in a dancing role. And ultimately, if you spend time on those little footwork ladders and you play multiple sports and you try to develop your athleticism, you'll be surprised how well you can learn to dance, even if you don't think it's the prettiest thing in the world. You can still be coachable and get it done. So it was definitely something that was getting outside my comfort zone and growing through that. But ultimately, when you see the result of it and how much fun that the fans are having and how much fun we're having laughing at one another look silly, it makes going to the batter's box a whole lot more fun and way less anxious, way less stress, way less pressure. Ultimately, it brings out our best self and allows us to compete with a confidence, but also a smile, and not be so football crazy
Right.
energy.
Yeah. Well, so I think the key right there, and I think about me growing up. So confidence is what allowed you to really accept that type of coaching, that direction. See, I didn't have a lot of confidence growing up. And so I would have never been like, these two here. That's, Big E drop down and twerk in front of anybody. And like, I just would have never done it. And because I was so concerned what everybody around me would think of me. And that always bothered me. And as I've gotten older, obviously I've become more confident in who I am. And, I don't have a problem getting up there and dancing now. I don't know how, like you said, I don't know how good it's going to look, but
Gonna give a good try.
I'll attempt it. But that's the fun thing. Like, so like Mike said, man, you can go out there and dance however you want. And those fans, they're not looking at you like they're not judging you. And so when you get in Cleveland next week, dude, you're the performers. Perform.
Try new things. You be with your teammates and just know that I think confidence comes from preparation. And when you are sure in your preparation and you've put in the hours behind the scenes when the cameras are off and when people aren't necessarily making a TikTok or making an Instagram reel, but when you're out there on the field or you're throwing the ball against your wall at your house, or you're doing the push-ups, or you're trying a weird dance move in the mirror and you're trying to learn something new, when you build your confidence from putting the reps in outside of that time, then you're ready for that moment when you get onto that platform. And for you, it's going to be coming to Cleveland and ultimately showing everybody else around you how well you can play while having the most fun. And I promise, playing well without having fun is not impressive at the slightest, because the goal is that a kid like you goes to high school and at 15, 16, 17 years old, you can't wait to finish your homework and finish studying to do the extra things that it'll take to be the best baseball or banana ball player by then. Who knows? There may be a draft for you guys that we don't even know. There's still so much time and growth ahead. It's going to be very cool. And the more time that you invest outside of the mandatory time periods, you're going to be rewarded with a lot more confidence and enjoyment when you get the chances on the platform.
Look, let me ask you a question, dude. You seem so disciplined and level-headed and confident in yourself. Has it always been that way for you, or does it just come natural?
Speaking to me?
Yes, sir.
Honestly, I think it was just built through preparation, overcoming failure, and ultimately trying, not achieving, not always getting things the way I wanted or the way I thought I deserved or the way I thought it was going to go and I dreamt in my head, but just showing up for the next pitch, showing up for the next rep, showing up for the next day, for the next at bat. You never know what opportunity you're going to have in a big moment that matters. And so people are going to respect and want to be around the person who can remain the same and be that same person on the day that they're 0 for 4 or 4 for 4. And that is going to overall just give you a confidence about life that, hey, everything's going to be all right. You know, your performance is important and it matters and you want to be your best. But ultimately, it doesn't matter more than the second that it takes for you to swing and either hit a home run or miss that pitch matters, because then we go on to the next second. No one stops the world and says, hey, now you've achieved it. You've done it.
You've leveled
Congratulations.
up.
You win the game. That's not the way it works. You see these MLB guys go at 160 plus times a year. It's something that is going to reward you from being the same consistent person as many days out of the year as you possibly can be. And I think that it was something I developed through various challenges in my life. And that's where growth happens, when you get out of your comfort zone, when you don't take the scholarship to go to Florida State and stay in your home state and your friends and everything. And instead you go to South Bend, Indiana, to the Midwest, where it's the worst winter they've had in 30 years, your freshman year, and you're struggling in school and you're having a hard time adapting to the hard classes and the college game and the amount of film study and the amount of extra time it takes, and just the ability to compete with these kids in a classroom, which had always been my second best thing. I always did well enough, but I wasn't purely Notre Dame merit academic in there alone. It was definitely athletics that helped me get into an institution like that. So the more you can surprise yourself by growing through challenges, the more fun you're going to have when you're competing, and the more fun you're going to compete. You're going to compete with a lot more confidence, because you're going to go into the game, and it's the same thing that we do out here. I mean, we had probably an hour straight of coaches just hammering fungos in the air, trying new trick plays. And I messed up plenty of them, and I made plenty of them. And ultimately, the ones I tried a week ago and messed up a bunch, I messed up a lot less today. And then how can I bring that into the big stage? And when you've hit it 3, 4, 5 times in a row and practice, the ball's hit, it's off the bat, there's that second of silence, you see it, and then you're like, full send, baby, here we go. And when you can lean on your preparation, it makes a lot of fun. So I think always developed.
You didn't go to Florida State, so I'm going to give you a big high five on that one. I'm a Hurricanes fan, so
okay. Didn't go there either, but
yeah. Well, you know what? I don't blame you, honestly, because it hadn't been great. So that's a good thing. But what did you take away from what he just said? I'm gonna put you on the spot, so I hope you were paying attention. But like, he said some really good stuff right there. What stuck out to you?
Practice makes perfect.
Okay.
He said a week ago, when I was messing up a lot more on the trick play I was trying to do, today I didn't mess up as much.
That's it. You know, I think there's a lot of kids today, really, all of us, we're so used to instant gratification. Yeah. And that means instantly being good at something. And sometimes it's that hard work that really develops not just only your skill, but like your personality and your relentlessness as an adult. So, man,
I'd like to one up you there real quick, Biggie. You said something I really like. You said practice makes perfect, and something that a coach told me when I was in 8th grade, who was also my first high school athletic director. He said, perfect practice makes perfect. And what I took from that was, it's not about going out there and taking 300 ground balls until you can't stand anymore and you're tired, and you know, you took half of them not even in a ready position and you were just throwing your body around. It's having the maturity and the mental fortitude to lock in for 10 to 15 game-like full send reps, because when you do that, you're going to unlock new potential within your body that you haven't experienced before, and you're going to create a new ceiling for yourself. So that's very important. It's not always, hey, I'm going to go take 250 swings off the tee. Hey, I'm going to go take 400 ground balls. No, I'm going to try to take 15 and see how many of the 15 I just absolutely nail in the way that I want to. And then keep building on that. Maybe it was 3 the first time, it was 5 the next, 7 the next, but really use your practice time with a high intent of focus. And that's going to allow you to get more out of it and not run yourself into the ground, because it's not baseball is a marathon and banana ball is a marathon in terms of the ups and downs and dealing with the failures, but it's not a true marathon and where you're just going to run 50 miles and the last one standing wins. It's not that. You could be the most prepared in the world and you can see a pitch great. You could put a bat on it and you can miss it by a quarter inch and pop it up 200 feet straight to the first baseman. And that's the way it goes. It's not going to be something that, oh, in the 9th inning, who's going to be tired? Well, hopefully nobody in a baseball game. Now in a banana ball game with this heat and all the dancing, you might be a little tired, but it's not going to be an endurance game in that. It's going to be who can be ready the most pitches that cross home plate to make that outstanding play. And the people that are ready for that usually reward themselves with making really cool plays that, if you're playing for the bananas or the firefighters or the party animals or the visitors, then they put it all over social media and you get to say, hey, I tried something new and I executed it on a big stage moment.
That's right. That's right. Well, so he said, a pop up to first base, but next week is going to be potentially a pop up to a fan. How are you two going to handle that one? Like, are you guys ready for that?
Yeah, because I'm excited just because it's like all these fans and they're all going to be like kind of like bunched up. I want to see a fan make a leaping play just like,
Well, what about it? What is that? What if that's your foul ball?
I'm a tip the cap. It's a good catch.
Okay, there
Respect.
you go.
Respect.
Someone catches my foul ball.
What'd you say, Lila?
I'm not tipping no caps if someone catches my foul ball.
Now, are your parents?
I've been on both sides of that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are your parents bringing their gloves so they can catch the other teams?
Well, my mom might. I don't know. I don't know if she'll be very good.
Hey, she just got to practice.
My mom brings the gloves. She's gonna be like Smalls. Just
yeah.
Well, good. Y'all don't have to worry about them catching your balls at least. So
I hope the party animals and the bananas don't count. I hope they don't count if they're watching games. I hope they don't count as catching foul balls, because I can't trust them party animals. They might be out there trying to snag some of y'all hits away.
I know.
Hey, I hope if it's I'm on defense, but not when I'm on offense. They better leave.
Right. You want diving plays in the stands if you're on the mound or you're behind the plate, but when it's in the batter's box, you want that thing getting caught right in the sun.
Yeah.
That's right.
Hey, Michael, I got one question.
What you got, Big E?
And I'm gonna put you on the spotlight here.
All right.
Who is your favorite banana? You're about to get pressed.
Favorite banana?
You mean player?
Yeah, player.
Okay. Himself.
Can't say yourself.
That's a really good cop out. Self love's really important. I love myself. That's wow. We've got a really good team of guys, and ultimately, I'll tell you my favorite that wears the jersey. I'm not going to go somebody on our roster because then I'm selling out all my other teammates, and I'm going to have to get. I'm gonna get attacked tomorrow on this flight. I'm gonna go with number 23, Reggie LaRue Horton. Reggie is the most consistent player that wears a uniform, the consistent person that wears a uniform on our squad, and is somebody that brings more joy to the ballpark every day than anyone I've ever experienced in my life. So I'll tell you what, that is how I judge my favorites, because people will tell you that you are who you hang out with, and your friends are. If you're hanging out with a guy like Reggie, then you're hanging around a person that's full of love, full of energy, and full of positivity. So I'm gonna go 2-3. Reggie Horton. But
there you go.
I will say we do have a really good group of guys. Our roster brings a lot of different mentalities and personalities, and I think that's what makes us a big fun bunch. And even the two females that we've had team up with us for periods of the season, Ashton Lansdale and Jocelyn Allo, an incredible experience and great teammates, because that was the first time I'd ever played a sport and actually had a girl on my team, and I found it incredible, especially the way that these women prepare themselves and the way that they're, if not more competitive and locked in and tapped in than us on a daily basis, because they had shorter time spans with us and they definitely wanted to maximize each and every opportunity they got with us. So it was something that was a joy to experience and watch and make friendships with them that are going to last for as long as I'll know.
Yeah. That's a good answer, right, E?
Yeah.
And that's how you professionally get yourself off the spot without disappointing your teammates. What else you got, brother?
So when you're saying like you're at like a DH, have you ever been like in a gold helmet situation, like where you walk up with like a golden batter tape or whatever it is?
Golden batter. I did get one of those this year. I've got one of those. Yeah. It would to be honest, I think I aligned out to second. I don't think I did anything to help my team. But I'll tell you what, it's kind of cool to go up there in a cape and a golden helmet.
Yeah, it is cool.
Would have been really, really cool to hit a ball 450 feet and throw my bat 20 feet in the air and jog around the bases. But that's part of life.
That's next time.
Right?
Yeah.
Lila, what you got?
Time.
All right.
That's right.
Since we're talking about the golden batter, my dad's coaching my team, and he wanted me to ask you, how should he pick the golden batter? Should it be someone who's like notoriously always good, or someone who's just hot that tournament?
I believe in the present moment and addressing. Now, there is statistics as you get older, and there is all these different metrics and things you can look into to gain a competitive edge. But ultimately, we are human, and especially you teenage and youth baseball players, your lives are so variant from, you could be at different stages of puberty, different skill set. You didn't have a good week it's summer now, but maybe you didn't sleep that well, or you didn't eat the right food you wanted, and you didn't we are not robots. So even though you might have these numbers on pieces of paper and you think you can make your decisions based off that, I say it's all crap, and you need to watch the game, because I think there has been games where our coach Gillum has done it tremendously. If there is a guy or girl that has an aura about them in the box that day that is looking like, even on their takes, they're just intentfully ready to do damage at the plate, and they've already had success against that person earlier, and or usually have success, and you can see that they have a lot of life in them that day. It is in your best interest to really go off of what you've seen that day and who you think is going to give you the best opportunity in that moment, depending on what you need. Obviously, if you're looking for a scenario where you're trying to climb out of a hole with guys on bases, and you think you have somebody that can lose a ball and put up, a quick home run, then maybe go that route. Or if you've got an absolute speedster that you think, well, whether they hit it hard or not, this person's probably going to find their way on base because of just how much pressure they apply with their speed on the defense, then you go that route. And but definitely something that I don't think should be predetermined or using child analytics to try to figure out who's going to give you the 52%.
No game changers.
Yeah. Throw the game changers out. Forget radar guns, leave them at home. All that nonsense. I think we kind of flush that, and you really just address what's going on in the present moment and who that day in that game is looking like they can give you the best advantage to put up some offensive power, and or if you need a base runner, a tie and run, get on base.
Yeah, I agree. I like that philosophy. Stats are great, but what you're feeling in the moment, who's hot, who's feeling it, can't go wrong with that one.
Stats are great when you are a player that's played in the major leagues and you have played 160 plus games a year for 8 years and had thousands of at-bats, that you can draw some real true
data from
patterns and data. But unfortunately, there's tournaments that y'all go through at your level and age that you might only get 3-4 at-bats in a weekend, and then you got to wait for a whole another weekend to play again. Why would we sit here and look into 6-7 at-bats worth of data and say this means something? I think ultimately the golden batter is the person that would be, will let the other team will tell you who your golden batter is, who that day has walked into the batter's box and the defense either starts moving back towards the fence or gets real shaky in their boots and looks uncomfortable because they know they're about to have to deal with somebody that's going to apply some pressure. That's who you want in the box.
That's it. So, Michael, you played a lot of traditional baseball in your days, multiple different levels. If you get to Banana Land, what's your favorite rule that's involved? Yeah,
that's a good question.
I think it's every inning counting is really cool because it doesn't lend to, hey, our starter had a really rough day, we're probably not going to be able to climb out of this game. Let's save pitching, throw some position players, and just get through this game without wasting the bullpen. I think it makes it competitive all the way through. But my favorite rule personally, and now having experience, having fouled out to a fan in some big moments in games, and sometimes in some big leads where I actually was like applauding and saw, hey, it was a great play. I think those are never forget moments where somebody that doesn't intend on or doesn't expect to get an opportunity to impact the game that day, and they think they're going to be there just receiving it and be a fan, and they get the opportunity to impact the game competitively. Well, that is an inspiration rocket that you can't measure because it's super cool. Now, my personal opinion, when a grown dad that played high school baseball or more is out there with a 13-inch glove and makes a routine can of corn catch in his glove, I don't like it. I'd rather see them go for the trick play. I'd rather see them try to make a good play. But when I tell you there has been incredible plays made from youth ballers, and a kid that I'm now friends with, Kamani, in Kannapolis last year, that ended a game, won a game for us, that was 100 miles per hour off the bat into foul territory. And not only did he save a girl from his school that he was with from getting hit in the face, but he made a play that helped us hugely because we just secured a game right there. And that's something that I know he still talks about and he hasn't forgotten. And it's something that I think is extremely special and something that is unique in our game. And that's definitely got to be my favorite because if I have to get myself out, but you're going to make a great play in the process, and now you're fired up to try to make more great plays, and I get to see you do it on TV one day, I'm going to tip my cap, like was said earlier, and I'm going to say, hey, that's freaking awesome. But you're going to see a very salty Michael Deeb going back to the dugout if, Johnny baseball dad has a 13-inch glove and it's a 2-mile-per-hour pop fly and he just gives it a can of corn catch. I'm going to be one upset competitor, that's for sure.
Well, we just got off of our umpire call. I was with Viro, Vincent, and Gillum, and the clean catch part. Like, can you execute a trick play with a clean catch like that, you think?
Oh yeah, if you're using, for example, you go bare hand, squeeze it, that's clean. If you go between the legs, catch it in your glove, that's clean.
There you go.
You go behind behind the back, that's clean. Now, if you try to do a pop where you pop it off the outside of your glove and then catch it, well, I hope you get the ball, but that's not going to count as an out. That's what I pray fans do when we're hitting, is that, hey, go for the trick play, pop it to yourself. I hope you get the ball, but I hope we get to just live to see another pitch.
Well, you know what? I hope a lot of people are listening to this show as they head to Cleveland, because this episode is going to come out this Friday. So parents, if you're listening, like Deeb just gave you something right there. Like, let's see some parent trick plays. Like, if you're going to catch a foul ball, hey, take the spotlight away.
Why not?
What do you think, Lila?
Yeah, I think that if you're gonna catch a pop fly, you shouldn't be like basket catching. You should try to do something cool at least.
Yeah.
Lila's like, I don't catch my ball, and I'm just focused on hitting a double in the
Yeah.
gap.
Yeah,
Lila's
don't
like, I'm over
catch
here
mine.
working on double celebrations. I ain't got time to worry
Yeah.
about.
That's funny. Hey, when you were growing up, Deeb, who would you look up to in the major leagues?
Miguel Cabrera, because when I was 10, my dad took me to a Marlins game. He had been called up to the big leagues. He was probably, 19, 20 years old. He was young in the big leagues. His first call up. Yeah, he was real young. And he had played third base all the way through the minors. And Mike Lowell, who was an established big leaguer, was our third baseman or sorry, not ours, but the Miami, at the time, Florida Marlins.
Right.
And so he came up in the big leagues, and his first position was left field, and he hadn't played it before. But the guy, I went to batting practice. I'm seeing the guy take fly balls, get after his craft, and work on it. And then during the game, he actually the left field seats kind of go up into the bleachers quite a bit. So the guy who was playing catch with him, I think either one of the bullpen catchers or a ball boy is playing catch with him at ground level, and he's in left field. And I'm like, Miguel. And I got my glove, and from like 120 feet away, I mean, like on the railing, like just right to the chest, boom. I throw it back, it might hop a couple times and, get back to him. He throws another one, boom, right to the chest. And at the end, when the pitcher was going to take the mound for the inning, he's like, keep the ball. Everything's cool. And I actually got to hit with him in Hialeah, Florida back in 2021 sorry, this was 2019 and 2020, right before COVID. I was able to hit with him in at Babcock Park in Hialeah before Ricardo Sosa got his Team Sosa baseball facility down there. And I told him that. I was like, man, it's so cool to learn from you and hit with you now as a professional, but I just want you to know, and I met you briefly when I was 10 years old, and you made me freaking love baseball and want to be like you. So that's somebody who I would say is probably the favorite former now player of mine, and somebody that I've got to experience around the ball field. And then beyond that, somebody who didn't play while I was growing up or alive, but Jackie Robinson is probably my favorite athlete of all time. And the reason I chose wearing number 42 in football, I obviously would not touch that on a baseball field. That number is retired. But
That's right.
I just admired the way that someone was competitively at such a mental disadvantage in comparison to the others that would play a game because of the way he was treated. And he had so much mental fortitude and ability to stay on his mission, follow the path God had for him, and not lash out at others along the process. That self-control was something that at a young age I found incredible, because I was the kid that was a little bit more like you, Big E. Probably, I wouldn't mind dancing. I wouldn't mind running my mouth. I was confident and I felt good about myself. But ultimately, I was just as angry when I struck out, and just as mad if it didn't go my way. And I was a little bit of both. I was here on the positivity, and also here on the anger, and just rocking this roller coaster. And to learn and study an athlete that when times were different, and he experienced so much hate for what he was doing, even from people that were fans of his team, and he went about it with a smile on his face and absolutely just dominated on the diamond. It was something that I will always make sure that my kids know about. If I am blessed to have children one day, I mean, that is one of the coolest people I think ever to play sports, and what they did and what they did for a game that was evolving, really, really, really cool. So we'll go Jackie Robinson, Miguel Cabrera, Big E, Lila. Who you got? Who's your favorite? Who's your favorite players?
Why you go first?
Yachty. Fair.
Yeah.
That's a catch.
Coming from a catcher.
Yeah. Enough said. That's awesome.
Pretty much checks out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, E?
We're gonna go with Yachty.
Yeah.
For you
Yeah.
too?
Yeah.
How many years did you get to watch him?
Probably since I was like 5.
Okay.
So for
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think you both picked somebody really well, because I think that's a guy that at the highest level of baseball, you got to see him smile a lot and compete really well. And that's cool to me. It's cool to see a guy that looks like he's having the most fun and he's just absolutely dominating. That's something, that's somebody to fear on a ball diamond, and definitely one on your team.
For sure. Well, mine and Deeb, I've said this so many times on the show, people are getting sick of this one, but I'm a little bit older,
Mhm.
but I have
Obviously.
that. See, that's
Yeah.
what I got to deal with right there. Why are you gonna say obviously? Like, oh my gosh.
You got to do
Anyway,
Coach Aaron like that.
thank
Come on.
you,
Come
Lila.
on.
You totally threw me off track, and you accomplished something. There you go. Canseco, man, growing up, Canseco was mine. Like,
Yeah.
it was. I started in the late '80s, and I was an A's fan. Ricky Henderson, Mark McGuire, Canseco. I mean, but baseball just kind of changed for me. Like as some of the the Bonds era ended, Roger Clemens, all those legends, man, I just kind of just baseball wasn't the same for me anymore. And, now I listen to these guys. Here's you something, Michael, tell me if you agree with. Lila, what was you saying about batters back in the old days? She says old days.
Put their hands really, really up high.
Yeah, she says like batters look different, but they were tougher, Lila. Like they were tougher.
Or where they go like this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They have their hands way up here and they go.
Or they either go like this, or like this.
Yeah.
But you still got batters.
I think that comes a lot
there's
from
no hate, but like
the technology. The technology. Those guys were, a lot of them were swinging larger bats, a little bit heavier wood, because the thought process was that if you're making contact with a denser, larger, heavier piece of wood, that ball is going to have a further reaction off the bat, and ultimately there wasn't as many guys throwing 100. So
that's true.
So now you see these big, powerful guys that they're thinking, trying to get on top of the ball and keep their hands above the ball, and to create backspin and work top down on people, and top down in terms of the top of the zone down. Their eyes hunting the top of the zone down, and now we've got gurus and all kinds of $450 bats that make the ball jump like a ping pong ball, and got guys going down here trying to swing for the heavens. And hey, whatever works for you, keep doing it. But sometimes history repeats itself. There's a lot of things you can learn from the original and older dominant players in the game that experienced it at a different time, and you can also compare and contrast to a lot of what you're facing and what you're seeing at the levels that you're playing at. And ultimately, I think the coolest thing in sports is when somebody absolutely demolishes a baseball and you hear that loud noise. So I'm not one for the 310, or sorry, the when we're playing on the 200-foot fences and it goes 210 feet on a little rainbow just over the fence.
Right.
I'd rather see somebody hit a ball head high so hard off the center field wall that it just pinballs right off the wall. And everybody goes, "Whoa, did you hear that? Did you hear that?" Those are my kind of people when it comes to hitting a baseball. I love watching those type of batters.
Just got to destroy it. Take the laces off.
No disrespect to the slap hitters in softball or anybody laying down bunts. That's cool too. Not banana ball, but I was never one of the fast guys, and I was always a little bit bigger and heavier, so it was never an option in my repertoire.
Yep. Hey, listen, do y'all think somebody's going to attempt to bunt next week?
Oh yeah.
You think so? Even though they know that they're going to get ejected.
No, I don't know if I think they're going to forget.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope not.
Yeah, or stepping out too. Like the stepping out, I think someone's going to step out. Like,
well, yeah. I get a strike.
Yeah.
That's just a reminder, unless it's strike 3, and then you got to go live
Yeah,
with it for
that's
another.
what I mean.
Then it's an hour-long reminder.
Yeah.
That's right. That's
I
right.
think that there's something to be said about standing in the box and owning what you believe is yours. And I try to tell all youth hitters and just my teammates and myself, I think of you're like a caveman or cavewoman in the box. You get this stick and you get 17 inches of white real estate that you get to just protect, and you're the guard of that. And if somebody tries to throw a ball over that, you're going to try to absolutely blister that thing. So there's no need to go anywhere else, because going towards the first base dugout, stepping out, or going back to the third base dugout and looking up at the sky and doing this 400 times ain't going to help that. It is
Shake
not,
the shoulders.
it's not going to help you, protect that plate. And even though,
Yeah.
there's time to grab your breath and everything else, like when you're in that box, own it. It's yours. So really set your feet in there and enjoy the ride and the time that you get in the batter's box. There's no. I've been close to early on and stepping out, but beyond that, I've found a much more comfortable way of hitting. And even my last 2 years in independent ball, I never really got out of the box, to be honest with you, because especially at the time, once I'd experienced it in banana ball, and the pitchers in normal pro baseball were still working slow, I was like, all right, well, I'll be here when you're ready, man. You could go walk around the mound and do whatever else you got to do. I'll just be right here, because action's fun to me, man. And I think that it's way cooler and way more of a offensive presence to tell them, like, no, pitcher, you got to come to me. You got to throw it over my place. I'm not going nowhere. Obviously, be on your time, or find your breath. Be in a good ready position. Don't feel rushed or speed yourself up. But I think what's really going to be funny is how many kids will probably the 3-0, which I personally am not a big fan, and I dislike this with a passion. When 3-0 and the kids go like this and fake bunt.
Yeah.
If anybody does that, I hope it accidentally ticks their bat, and I hope they're ejected. Respectfully. Respectfully. And here's why. Because 3-0, I pray you become so dominant that the coach gives you the green light. But in the event it's not the wise choice and they don't give you the green light, that 3-0 pitch is the best time to take your absolutely best take without hitching the trailer. I mean, that's the best time to get that pitcher and see that thing all the way in and know, hey, I'm not swinging here. Coach gave me a take, but I'm going to replicate what's going to happen on this next 3-1 pitch if he throws a strike for strike one. That is going to prepare yourself to hit. I personally, changing your eye level, bending your knees, and then going like this with a bat is, well, now we're getting on defense on offense. And, hey, we don't get many times to get in the box in a baseball game,
that's right,
or a banana ball game either. So when you're in there, enjoy it and make it count and make it loud off the bat.
That's right. That's right. A loud ping for you, Lila. Ping. All right. Well, we're towards the end here, Michael. We got one question that we ask every single guest that comes on the show, man, and it's usually the toughest. I don't know. I don't think it'll be tough, really, for anybody that plays for Fans First organization. But you're walking up to bat. What's going to be your walkout song?
So I've got Walking on Sunshine right now, but it was just because it was more of a brand with barrels and sunshine and what made sense for the show. But Return to the Mac, Mark Morrison, my walk up from last year and from other times in pro ball. For me, when I'm on a baseball field, I like to be, I would say, at conversational level energy, the same energy I'm having with y'all right now, where I'm excited, I'm locked in, I'm tapped in, but I'm not quite football rah energy. I'm not going crazy, man. So I don't need something that's, over the top energy or too crazy, but something that's going to put me in a really good rhythm where I can find my breath, feel confident, smile, and ultimately just simply enjoy what's about to come during that at bat. So that's right. Return of the Mac, Mark Morrison, sold. That's it.
That's it right there. All right, Lila, any final questions for Mr. Deeb?
Oh, also, I actually do have one. So for the ball force sprint, what order should we do it?
So I think the best way, and we've kind of all adapted this and have all basically agreed with trial and error that that's going to be your fastest opportunity, is so over there right now, you guys see the infield playing on a slightly smaller field, but behind that second base cut and it was where second base would be. As soon as that umpire goes ball four sprint, you're going to want all of your defensive players to crash and run as fast as they possibly can towards that spot. But the way it's going to work, your shortstop should be the first one that's going to get the ball. Your shortstop is going to get the ball, give the ball to your second baseman. Your second baseman, who will then flip the ball. By then, he should be pretty close to the third baseman in an intersecting line to flip the ball to the third baseman, who should then flip the ball to the first baseman, who should then be flipping the ball to the center fielder that's crashing. That center fielder should give the right fielder the ball on a flip. And in a perfect world, that right fielder will be somewhere around that, behind second base area, not in the baseline. But that should give the left fielder enough time to, with a full sprint, be on second base, ready to receive the ball as if it were a throwdown. But it should just be a little flip from the right fielder to then just take that ball and snap the tag straight down on the bag. So hypothetically, you'd want, with 3 balls, your outfielder should be communicating, hey, 3 balls. So they should move in a little bit. And that means you got to give to get. Ultimately, you want to not walk anybody so you don't have to deal with that. But, we got some music going.
Oh, in your background. I was like, I don't hear any.
It's my doorbell. It's my doorbell.
Okay, that's what it was.
I was like, what is that?
I was like, it was like nursery rhyme or something. So yeah, we'll go. That you want the left fielder to be the last person to get the ball, and that should be the person that's really the most important in being where they need to be when they need to be there, because everybody else is going to be able to, if it's a longer flip or you actually have to throw the ball, so what? The ball travels faster than anybody can possibly run. Even at your age, you can throw a ball way faster than anybody in the world runs. So that left fielder really has to know, with 3 balls, like, I want to be in a position that I'm in far enough that, hey, unfortunately, they might hit an extra base hit and hit a double over my head, but that's kind of the trade-off I'm making with the pitcher. Like, you've gone to 3 balls now. Unfortunately, if they tattoo one on the warning track, I'm probably not making the play. But I got your back. I'll be at second base to hopefully turn a ball four sprint not into a double and keep that person at first base, because that is really advantageous on defense. If there's a ball four sprint and you can keep that double play in order, you can keep that person from getting into scoring position, then you help yourself out tremendously, especially at your level in youth sports. Really, the teams that walk less people, like, I don't know the statistics on this, but if there was statistics of all youth sports, I would guarantee the majority of the time they're having success and winning games. So especially in banana ball, where a walk can be a double, let's keep that person off second base. And it doesn't mean everybody crash in with, it's kind of like yes, we play in a little bit. We kind of know, we anticipate, hey, if ball 4, I know that I'm going to get the ball from this one, and this one is going to get the ball from me. And okay, I see where they're at. I know what I'm doing, but I want my eyes behind my glove the whole time I'm running, and I kind of want to be at a controlled pace that it doesn't matter of, like, get the ball and get rid of it, and that the minimal millisecond that you save by trying to speed yourself up that way is going to burn you more times with bobbles and losing the ball than just going, okay, I'm kind of chopping my feet, I've gained some ground, I'm going to come catch, receive the ball, I'm going to get a good grip and deliver it to the next person. If the ball's spending the majority of the time in the air going to where it needs to go, that's fast. That's going to be the fastest. And so if you need to take a little extra time to get an accurate throw, flip, toss off to the next person, that's going to be the time saver and giving you a chance to get that out at second base. And then ultimately, the only other thing I'll say is second baseman and or third baseman, whoever's kind of in that direction or has the ability, definitely would love for it to be the pitcher. I love our pitchers, but sometimes they forget to back up bases. But ideally, we just need somebody on third base, because in the event you don't have a player, it's bobbled and everybody's standing around second base and the runner's on the base safely and the ball's 2 feet over here or whatever, but he sees that, or he or she sees that, hey, third base is wide open, no one's covering there. It will make you very, very silly watching 9 people chase one person to third base and having no chance of getting them. We've been there. It's not fun. It looks like it's staged. It looks like you're trying to do a piece of content. Like, here's 9 people on a baseball field chasing one guy around the bases, but there's nobody at third base. So definitely want somebody over there at third base too, in the event that something goes wrong. It is a double and they try to get, a little aggressive, and which means run out of the box for sure. Run out of the box hard. Apply pressure on the defense. It's always going to scare the defense more when they see a runner hauling butt out of the box and trying to get to second. They're going to want to speed up rather than even if you're one of the slower people. Hey, come out of the box, take a big old turn, and hey, maybe they'll bobble it, and you'll still find your way to second base. So apply pressure on offense, and then, but yeah, if you hit the ball hard or crush one, go ahead and bat flip and take your time on those. No bad points for bat flips or hitting a single off the wall because the bat flip went too long.
All right. Well, Deeb, Lila has been chasing her first home run, and Cleveland is the city of rock, and you should be able to smash one.
I think so. What kind of are the fields that we're playing on? Are they generally like competitively close fences? Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
My travel team was a little bit unlucky. We were a 12U team playing on fences that were 325 to the corners and 375 to center.
Snap.
Because we played they moved the bases up, but because the field availability, our home field was the big dog. And I'll tell you what, we sit there forever like, come on, someone's gonna hit a home run here. Someone one day.
Dude, I remember as when I was young, and then I moved to 90 feet bases, and I'm like, what is wrong? Like, these bases are wrong. Somebody set this field up wrong.
Yeah. All of a sudden, you're running to first base, and you're like, wait a second, we're not there yet.
I should be there
by now. Usually, I'm on my turn
to
second. Yeah, we're there yet.
Well, awesome, man. Look, I thank you so much for hopping on with us and spending an hour and some change out of your time hanging out with us, and it means a lot to us, and thank you very much, man. We appreciate it. And
anytime
you're gonna see these guys next week, so be ready.
I'm super excited. Y'all have a bunch of passion for the game, and so that makes me happy. That inspires me on days that sometimes travel goes long, you have a layover that and they cancel your flight or something happens. Just knowing that here shortly we're going to be able to spend some time with y'all perfecting your craft and getting after it is going to fire us up to put on one heck of a show in Cleveland. And I'm excited to learn from y'all. I hope I get to see 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 really cool things that inspire me to say, hey, I want to try that come the game in the MLB stadium. So
that's right.
It's going to be a lot of fun. I appreciate y'all taking the time to talk with me and learn a little bit about myself and getting to learn a little bit about y'all. And we're going to be getting after it in Cleveland. Come on.
Dude, I'm telling you, mate, you're an inspiring person, dude. You should, like, you're good at it. Like,
thank you.
Yeah,
I really appreciate
you're good, man. All right. Well, look, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
For listening to the show. Make sure you subscribe, share, like, follow, all those fun things that you can do these days. But send it out to some friends. Our goal here at this show is to hopefully let everyone realize that kids are doing some amazing things out there, and we need to focus more attention on our youth. So thank you guys again. And Lila, I'll let you take it from there.
Until next time.
We'll catch you on the slide.
There it is.
There we go.
We thank you for toughing it out and pushing through. Now, let's go teach the world great sportsmanship, leadership, to go inspire someone through your dedication and excitement for the game. Make sure to smash the like and follow button on all social media at The Slide Podcast Show and The Slide Pod on Twitter. Plus, leave us a review and feedback. Until next time, we'll